1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Alright, let's take a look at the Callisto Protocol and Dead Space remake. But before we do, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button, as I got some banging reviews coming out soon, all things horror. Mainly Alan Wake, Outlast, and the Blair Witch Project. The game version, not the movie, because the movie sucks. With new info about to drop on Dead Space, the remake, here is 5 reasons the Callisto Protocol will be better than the Dead Space remake. Glenn Schofield. In my previous video I mentioned Glenn Schofield, so he's the director of the Callisto Protocol, and this is a great sign. He was also the director of Dead Space, hence the similarities really within these two titles. But having Glenn on Callisto and not on Dead Space remake is what's going to separate these two titles. Love and care and insight into what works in horror games will produce something new and unique. Well, here's hoping. Glenn Schofield's artwork in horror survival games just makes me believe there's still a chance in the future for other developers to jump onto this and learn from him. This leads to passion within developers, having new IPs and not just rehashing remakes and remasters. Glenn Schofield put so much into Dead Space. You can see in all of his interviews he is doing it all over again with the Callisto Protocol. But I can't see EA putting in the same effort. But Motive might, but unfortunately publishers have the final word. Not a cash grab. I know EA holds Dead Space's IP, and we will see what they do with it, but fair play where it's due. Trailer looks amazing, but when they start stating things along the lines of giving Isaac a voice and changing the story beats, ooh, trouble is a brewing. I'm still going to get both games as a huge fan of Dead Space, and I will keep my fingers crossed. I've seen comments on videos where people think it's an interesting point in time where EA decide to remake a classic horror game when the original director is making his own IP. A very fair point, I think. EA can't let an old dev, who they helped destroy, mind you, move on with new interesting ideas without trying to cash in on the old IP and classic horror games and ride that wave.
That's when I smack the shit out you.
EA's team Motive is tasked with the Dead Space remake. Trailer looks great and all, but there is always a but. What have they worked on previously? Star Wars Squadrons? Decent enough game, but user rating tanked that game. And also Battlefront 2. It's okay. Again, user score tanks it, mainly due to the microtransactions and such. I'm just not sure whether they should be touching Dead Space, as it's so loved and looked highly upon. And yes, they could have new staff, etc., so let's give them the benefit of the doubt for now. And you could all give me the benefit of the doubt and hit that subscribe button and watch updates on all horror games past and present. However, Callisto has a lot of Visceral Games devs now at striking distance, which made the original Dead Space. They love Dead Space and all things horror, which to me seems like something worthwhile to think about. Environmental change. New story set on the Jupiter moon Callisto, hence the name. Enemies are different, which allows for a different scare that you won't see coming, and different types of combat to Dead Space. Sort of. Unfortunately, as Dead Space is a remake, a lot will be the same and expected, unless they Resident Evil 3 remake Dead Space. Turns out that's poor in comparison. Unique. Callisto is an original IP, a whole new story to get amongst, not just a rehash story, with updated lights, graphics and feel. That said, so pumped for Dead Space remake, just Callisto looks more intriguing as it's 100% new. Gameplay seems more fluid, atmospheric and scary. A specifically designed gore system will be introduced. They've specifically designed tears which are torn off the enemies and the playable character, which their theory is might not get seen multiple times, which gives you a nice horror feel. Remakes can be amazing, here's hoping, but I remind you horror fans of the Resident Evil 3 remake. But from listening to the devs of Dead Space, they're going above and beyond with details such as changing Isaac's breathing pattern when running, and how his screams are different when tired. This tells me they want to impress. Glenn's not worried, and has told us we should enjoy both games for what they are, and I can tell you I'm pumped for both, but I just think Callisto will be better. Bring on all horror games and I'll be covering all of them. Stick around to find out more. Callisto Protocol is what happens when EA just fuck off and let the developers do their shit. But we all could be wrong and it's a big pile of shit. But probably not though.